Amen, amen. Um, Today we're going to talk about stronghold and how to bring down stronghold and move mountains. Yes. When I was 15 years old, I got my first girlfriend, 15. And by the time I was 16, going 17, I already got in trouble because she cheated on me. It hurt. Then I got another girlfriend. She cheated on me again. It hurt again. And I got another girlfriend. She cheated on me again, and it hurt. So I was hurt so bad when I was already 16. And by the time I was 20, I was hurt many times. And I came to the conclusions that I cannot trust a woman. That was my conclusions. Then I took a decision. My decision was I cannot trust a woman because a woman cannot be trusted. That was based off my experience, what I went through, and I concluded and I took a decision. That is a process of stronghold. We get into stronghold out of experience. We go through experience, and then we have this false argument, this false reasoning. And then from that false reasoning, we take a decision. And that decision is a stronghold. So we have experience, life experience, we have a false reasoning, and then we have a decision. And that decision is is a stronghold. And behind that stronghold, there's a demons. There's a spirit. Yes. So I'm going to explain that according to my illustration. I said that I had experience, I got cheated on. And it hurt, and it hurt, and it hurt. And I came to the conclusion that I cannot trust a woman because women cannot be trusted. Now, the truth of the matter is, it's not all women cannot be trusted. That's the truth. But my case was only those women that I met that was cheaters. But all women are not cheaters. So my first argument, my first reasoning came to the conclusion that all women are cheaters, which is not true. That's what is a false reasoning, false argument. And that false argument led me to a decision. I cannot trust a woman. Now let me ask you a question. Can I be married to a woman that I cannot trust? No. Because without trust, there cannot be marriage. So the decision I took not to trust a woman was actually a decision I took not to get married. Now, I know that marriage is the blessing, is a promise of God for me. It's a blessing. So my decisions was keeping me from that promise of God. So I was protecting. My decision was out of fear to be hurt again. So I was protecting myself against hurt. I don't know if I'm talking to someone. Yes. I was protecting myself against hurt. And stronghold is also called fortress. So fortress is a structure. In the old ancient time, there was building structure to protect the kingdom against the invasion of army outside. So they will build this big hall that will be very wild, constructed. For the army will come, they cannot get into the city or into the kingdom. We're talking about Jericho. It was a stronghold. Right. So they're protecting themselves against the army that was coming outside. So there was no way for you to get in if you don't have no permission. There was God, everything was set off for the protection of the kingdom. Now, inside the stronghold, the fortress, there was, peace. Everybody was happy because there was no more hurt from the outside. So when we come to the spiritual stronghold that we're talking about this morning, behind those walls, there's a spirit that is there. You're protecting him. It's not him that coming from outside, but he's already inside. So when we build our stronghold, when I said I will not trust a woman, I just set myself to the position where I will not be married. So when you come to me about marriage, about trusting a woman, I will remind you my experience. That this is what I want to. This is what I went through. This is what I went through. What do you think about it? Can you trust a person and a woman again? You, if you don't have the Spirit of God, you feel sorry about what I went through, and you say, man, you're right, man. Don't worry about getting married anymore. Don't worry about trusting. So those arguments that I'm giving, I'm protecting that spirit that have been prepared for me not to receive the blessing of God that is marriage.
That's good.
So I'm protecting the spirit. And that spirit is a spirit of celibacy. That spirit don't want me to get married. And in my case, when I came to realize, I looked at my family, no one was getting married. There was no one. But I was a Christian. And I remember when I was doing my own thing, meaning going after women, I got so many girlfriends that I have to keep up with a list. I have to keep up with the list because I didn't know how many. So I need to play, and when we're talking about play, so I need to be a liar because you got to lie. Because by the time you are with this, the first one came in the morning, there's another one come at 10 o'clock in the morning. You have to find a lie that makes her to leave before 10 o'clock.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
So that was a life now for me. So I got stuck in this structure. And by the time that I said I want to get married, now there was no more women for me. Because all of them, I was not good enough anymore. I was not handsome more than before. All the women that was coming, they will come for a day or two. And they're like, man, I found myself someone better than you. He heard that. I didn't understand. I said, that's me. Used to have a list. Now I cannot even keep up with one. That's how I realized that there was a spiritual matter was taking place. So I stepped back and started looking deep into my family. The Bible says in the book of Matthew that you recognize a tree by its fruit.
That's right.
So I started looking at the tree of my family. My father and my mother, and I started looking at the fruit. My sister, my brothers, my siblings. I looked around, I didn't see anybody married. I was like, oh, I got a problem with the tree. I have to go back and check. So by that time, I start praying. I start asking God to open my eye to see what's going on. So God brought me back in the house of my father and said, look what was happening in your father. In the house of my father, what God showed me is that each time we was having a feast, we're talking about Christmas or the 1st of January, we was having feast, and at the end of it, my father was always leaving a plate of food on the table. Say, this is for the ancestor. So when that was happening, God opened my eye to see that the ancestor was coming. And when they was coming, they would eat on the table, and then after they eat the food, then they go in the rooms where the children was. And those was spiritual wife and spiritual husband that was preventing my siblings and myself not to get married. So that's the same spirit that prepare all those experiences that I have to be deceived and give me a false reasoning so I can be prevented and taking that stronghold, the decisions, so I can prevent myself also from getting married. That's the spirit that was behind the stronghold.